You know what else will be good? This. Brandon Marshall made the move official today on Twitter with a picture of his contract with the caption, "Done deal, hashtag G-Men." Herm Edwards, he is a New York football giant. I am not mad about it. This man has some concerns because he wants to focus on O-line, but we'll save that. How are you?
Happy to have Brandon Marshall.
I'm good. Yeah, Brandon didn't even have to change stadiums. He just changed uniforms.
Right? Came to the right side.
Kind of interesting. There was another Jet that was also did that the defensive tackle.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden,
that worked out really well.
Worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
And you got to hope for Brandon it works out good for him too.
That's right.
I want to start with you here because they already got some receivers, as we discussed earlier with the New York Giants. Are they now the best wide receiver duo in the NFL?
Yes, the whole core is the best, including Sterling Shepard, if you go 1, 2, 3. But yes, the answer is yeah. And I know, look, Oakland, you can argue, but let me just focus on the Giants for a second. Let's assume that Brandon Marshall's not the player we saw last year. Stephen A., you argued it very well earlier. Who was throwing him the ball? What team was he on? And all that. The year before last, and for several years consecutively, Brandon Marshall was just about as good as anybody in the NFL at the position. He was a stone-cold stud at wideout. Now you're putting him with Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, until this last season, if you had Brandon Marshall as your number one receiver, you were better than probably 25 teams at number one receiver. And now you're pairing him with a guy who's better than that. This is assuming Brandon Marshall isn't cooked, right? Because he's 32. The way the age 30 is for running backs, 35 is for wideouts. Assuming he's not cooked, you put him with Odell Beckham Jr., that's the best 1-2 in the NFL.
Max Kellerman. You know, there's so many things that you don't consider at times. It's almost laughable. You're thinking about talent, Max Kellerman. You're absolutely right. Okay?
Great.
Here's the
I
question.
win. Yes.
Here's the question. No, you don't win. I'm waiting for you to win. I really would appreciate it if you could get one win one day.
Mom,
but here's the
someone
deal.
should tell him. Yeah,
When you sit up there and think about this, Max Kellerman, are you sure that the Giants locker room is going to be able to deal with the combination of Brandon Marshall and Odell Beckham Jr.? See, I'm looking out for you because you being the Giant lover that you are, I know you're going to be whining and moaning in the months to come. The second something happens, damn it, guys, don't do this. Don't do this. Guys, calm down. Don't mess this up. You're going to lose your mind. And that's why I'm telling you. Now, obviously, from a talent perspective, I would say that. But I'll tell you this, and I'll throw out this caveat before I pass it to Coach Herm. And I miss you, buddy. Good to see you.
Good to see you, my friend.
Here's the deal. Max Kellerman, Coach Herm Edwards, would we be saying this if Martavis Bryant could stay off the weed?
Yes.
And was available? I'm not so sure.
Hold on.
I'm not so sure.
Bryant and Crabtree, for that matter, have never been in the discussion for top half-dozen receiver in the NFL. And they may never be. Brandon Marshall was firmly in that discussion.
Stop. See, this is where you get slick. Because Max Kellerman, we started off the show with you accusing Brandon Marshall of slippage. Now you're sitting there, I don't care what happened years ago. We're talking about now.
Yeah, and what I'm telling you is if he can recapture 2 years ago or just split the difference between last year and 2 years ago, he is a talent who was once a top dozen receiver. Martavis Bryant and Crabtree, if you want to go to Oakland, which makes a lot of sense.
I'm saying you giving me ifs after you gave me a solid explanation. You said, I'm the one that sat up there and said Brandon Marshall had a worse season 3 years ago, and oh, by the way, last year is not his fault, and he's this. You're the one that started the show saying it's slippage. He's not what he used to be.
I started out by saying that Brandon Marshall at $6 million a year is a steal, and of course, at that price, you got to pick him up. Will he be what he was 2 years ago remains to be seen. But if he splits the difference, he's a lead receiver, and on this team, he's number 2.
You tore like an old married couple today. Seriously.
Whatever. He's unbelievable. I mean, he just changed all over the place. He said something. We got him on camera. We got him on camera saying that he denied it. It's unbelievable.
Well, Max is correct in about talent-wise, and Stephen A. makes a great point. I agree with that. And Stephen A. does make a great point. You're talking about two volatile wide receivers. And that's just their personality. Now, can they coexist? I think so. I do believe that. But there's going to take some handling now because Brandon is a guy that, like Odell, wants the football. Now, what will happen here, I think, is that this marriage should work well because generally when Brandon goes to a new team, he seems to always have a great year. That's just kind of the way it's been.
Re-energized.
When he goes somewhere new, it's always new. Now, he gets to stay in New York, so he still gets to do his TV deal. Can that be bothersome? Maybe a little bit, but he's dealt with it before. But if you're the Giants and you're Eli, this is your Plaxico Burress.
Right.
He becomes your Plaxico Burress because now you got a big guy who you put inside, not outside, inside. Because now he's a threat down the seam. Yes, sir.
I'd like to bring this to you, and Max, please chime in here,
Okay.
especially you too, Molly, because this is a point that Molly and Max have complained about throughout the year as well. I'm going to remind them of that. We're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. with Brandon Marshall, a combination. I believe they'll be fine. I got love for both brothers. I didn't hear y'all express any love for Coach McAdoo. Are we sure he can handle the scenario that Coach Herm just pointed out? This ain't Tom Coughlin we talking about here. This ain't Bill Parcells. Hell,
I think Brandon's going to be fine.
It's not even Jim Fussell.
He's going to be 33 years old. I think he'll be fine.
And you know what
We're talking about McAdoo. We're talking about McAdoo here, Coach McAdoo.
You know who
Are y'all
I think
concerned?
McAdoo will handle it. I think that offense is his side of the ball, but I'll tell you something else. You know who eats in this scenario, Coach?
Oh.
Sterling Shepard's the guy who's going to eat. I mean, Sterling Shepard now should go to town.
Well, and he should. His career is arrows are pointing up. Brandon is going to be. He's not the number one guy, and I think he realizes that. He's probably two B.
Right.
Because if Sterling is the guy we think he's going to be, then Brandon has to be all right with that. Look, Brandon's going to a team right now that was 11-5. Brandon's never been in the playoffs. If I'm him, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do the best I can ever do to get in the playoff. I just want to get in the play, see what it feels like. You know, this team was 11-5 and then melted against Green Bay. Obviously, the defense is melted. It's just it'll be okay. But now he's in a scenario where there's an offense that fits what he does well. Quick striking offense, West Coast offense.
The bigger concern for me is not the personalities, what we talked about earlier, now them having balance in terms of where's the running game. They need to get help on the offensive line.
Look, if Brandon Marshall psychologically, after the year he just came off, at the age of 32, realizes that he'll take a $6 million a year deal to stay in New York, that indicates also maybe he's trying to win. He recognizes Odell Beckham Jr. is on the team, or why does he sign that deal? To me, I don't see problems there as a result of that decision.
Well, it's the perfect scenario for him because he keeps his day job. Or his night job, whenever he goes on television.
Right.
Okay? And he didn't have to move.
And he has a shot at the Super Bowl. Herm.
Come on. He's got a shot.
Come on.
They get a couple offensive linemen, Coach.
Well, they need some offensive linemen.
No
doubt
question.
about that.
Yeah, running back wouldn't hurt either.
Herm, thank you kindly. Good to see
Good seeing you, Stephen A. I'll be around
Good
all
seeing
week.
you, buddy.
All right, buddy.
You know
Much
it.
love.
Herm, you're staying with us, actually.
Am I staying?
Yeah.
Another
it said
segment?
goodbye too early. We got another segment with you.
Okay, I like
Lucky
that.
us. All right,
That's
this is good.